Okay. Is this a fine for you? Great. Awesome. Damn, that's quite a stream delay. What the hell? I feel like that took forever. How do we make that less?
Hello everyone and welcome to Wowcast. Today we're going to talk about the next major content update, Ghosts of Caresh. To help us uncover what's in store, I'm joined by two developers who helped bring Caresh to life. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Drew D'Souza, and
Her
I'm
hair
a leading
looks
counter
cute.
designer.
I'm Steph Yoon. I'm an associate lead quest designer, and I was also the point on this content.
First things first, what is Caresh and why now?
So Caresh isn't a new term to us. You know, way back in Burning Crusade, we first heard about them when we met the Ethereals in Netherstorm.
Oh yeah. Damn, they look so much better now. Like to see the ethereal and to see the texture of this circular thing that's actually higher resolution is really wild because I have these baked in memories of these guys. It's like maybe we can find a the Ethereals from Burning Crusade have had quite a glow up. Do you think we're gonna be able to play them? I mean, they didn't look that bad. But this is what I mean when I say, like, I try to explain to people the game has changed so much that it's kind of like a new game. In a lot of ways. Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but it's just it looks so much smoother now, you know?
And you know, they told us tales of Caresh, a beautiful arid homeworld for the Ethereals, until Dimensius the All-Devouring came and consumed their world soul. So
Right. So, do you know about this? It's pretty freaking important, but I guess we're all going to learn about it more in the patch. But if you don't know, why are they like mummy people made of magic? It's because of a horrible thing that happened to their planet, Caresh. Did you know that out in space, that thing that can randomly happen is a gigantic void monster comes out of space and decides to just eat your whole planet because it looks tasty. That's exactly what happened on Caresh. But Caresh was the home of a super advanced magical technological society. And because of their technology, they were able to barely shield themselves and keep like a tiny bit of their essence and wrap it up in magical bandages. Like that's how bad it was when their planet got ate by the Void Lord. There's nothing left of anything except like a tiny bit of their soul they could wrap up in bandages. That's it. That's it. So that's why they're Ethereals. They're like the remnants of people who were annihilated by a Void Lord.
helped the Ethereals
Dimensius.
get revenge in Netherstorm, and we thought the matter was finished. And for the first time here in Ghosts of Caresh, we'll be stepping foot on what's remaining of that planet.
So this is what's left after it got all licked up by the Void Lord.
And because we've heard that evil forces are trying to resurrect Dimensius the All-Devouring, and if that happens, the Ethereals are toast, and then Azeroth will be next.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too good for us. So, who's gonna help us try to stop Dimensius?
You know, with a threat like this, it's all hands on deck. Within the last major...
So apparently some assholes are gonna actually try to resurrect this thing? Why? That's crazy. Why? Who would want to do that? This is a worst idea you could have. I guess they all have a death wish? They're cultists or something?
Content update.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of Caresh? Do not say that in front of an ethereal.
Illyria sort of took a step back and undermined, but she'll be here front and center with her old mentor, Locust Walker, as he brings us to his old home planet. And the eager players among us will have already gone through the content in Legacy of Aerithor, where there is a feature called Lore Walking, which gives hints to sort of the content that's coming up here in Ghosts of Caresh. In
Yeah.
there, we learned that
Yeah.
Venari and the brokers are interested
We're gonna
in
do that.
helping. Not only that, they've brought their entire
do that.
city, Tazavesh, the Veiled Market, from the Shadowlands and placed it here right in Caresh. So we'll be able to use that as a home base. We're going to gather as much help as we can.
Wow. They took the whole city. But were there other people in the Shadowlands that were there? Are we gonna... Can you do that? Can you just take people out of the Shadowlands? If they happen to be in the city at the time. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Wouldn't that be weird? That'd be really strange. Like, who's dead that we didn't see yet in the Shadowlands? I think, Orgrim Doomhammer. I don't think we saw him in the Shadowlands.
So that we can face Dimensius in the raid Manaforge Omega.
I'm excited to see Venari. I know a lot
Okay, you said Tazavesh wasn't really in the Shadowlands. It was in the space between dimensions. Oh, okay. Well, then that might have covered that base.
of other people are too. You mentioned the raid. Can you tell us more about that, Drew?
Absolutely, there's a lot to talk about. So our raid in Ghosts of Caresh is Manaforge Omega. It's a giant facility that's been built up on the planet to harvest cosmic energy.
Nice.
We're going to be fighting our way in and through it to take on...
Man, let me just say, Caresh looks so sick. I think it looks amazing. I appreciate the fact that they're going to a dead world and they're not going to make it look like shit like they did with Korthia. Sorry, but Korthia is disgusting. Like, I get it needs to be disgusting because it's all messed up, but don't do this to us. We have to spend time here. Make it pretty. It's pretty aesthetic. I like the shimmery, like, moon dust ground. It's nice.
Shadowguard's Ethereals, who are trying to revive Dimensius. While we're in there, we'll face down with an army of Ethereals still being...
I just don't understand this. Why would any Ethereal want to revive Dimensius? Maybe... Oh my god, what if they can't die? I mean, no, that doesn't make any sense. Because to die, all you have to do is just unwrap yourself, right? Or, wait a minute. If you unwrap yourself, do you die? Or not? Is it, or is that like, can they not get naked? What counts as being naked? We're in it. Let's not think about that right now. It's just
the creature they're harvesting silk from, and even a mysterious council of demon hunters that had found their way onto Caresh.
okay. This is it. This is what we were talking about before. Void demon hunter. Void. What if demon hunter but void spec? Yeah. Wouldn't that be so cool? But wait, no. Because if they added demon hunter void spec, they'd have to let void elves do it. And if they let void elves do it, they gotta let blood elves do it too, right? You can't let a void elf not be a void hunter. That's the whole thing. That wouldn't make any sense. No.
And of course, it's going to end with a cosmic level battle with Dimensius, who is the biggest raid
Wow.
boss we've ever made.
How big?
Wow. This is the biggest raid boss they've ever made. I mean, he does seem pretty big.
Are we talking?
Like,
How
City
big?
of Stormwind sized?
What?
Dang, what? Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
B.
Do you have any examples of boss mechanics in the raid?
One that I think is really cool is actually our intro. Like I mentioned, this is a giant like mana intake facility, and we're actually going to come in through the pipe where they've taken the mana. We're actually going to utilize a artifact cloak we're introducing in Ghosts of Caresh, the Rushi wraps.
Wait a minute. Now, where have I seen that before? Looks a little familiar to me. Remember? Yeah, going through the pipe and getting shot out the other end. I've done that.
To turn ourselves into energy and trick the filtration system.
Okay.
So our first boss encounter is against a warden that's overlooking these pipes, and we're going to need to go in and out of
Go through the pipes. Yep.
energy forms to survive.
I'm
Is his name Faust?
excited for my druid to have another artifact. So let's break down Rushi wraps. What's the fantasy behind them?
We wanted to give the players an upgradable artifact that had a visible component for transmogs, of course, because that's the true endgame of WoW, but didn't interfere with it.
I feel like I've seen some other Alexander DNA lately. Remember in Undermine, there's that boss that I said was a lot like Sprocketmonger. Okay, is Sprocketmonger Lockenstock is the name of the WoW one. But he reminded me of that goblin boss from Alexander. Remember? It had a very similarly shaped like arena. And he also had a goofy ass name like that. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna spend time trying to find that. I'm sure somebody in the chat is gonna know what I'm talking about. A10, yeah.
So the Rushi wraps are an artifact cloak that helps us turn our bodies.
What is this outfit? Oh my god, is that warrior set? Is
Turn our body.
that warrior tier? Oh my god.
From corporeal into an energy form. You know, a very powerful person within the campaign helps us gather these ethereal artifacts and coalesces them into the Rushi wraps. And it turns our bodies into energy form and basically allows us to see the world through the ethereal's eyes. With this, we'll...
Okay, so they wear clothes on top of their bandages. So they can take off their clothes and get naked. But their bandages are their skin, essentially. Yeah. But I assume they need to change those. Right? I don't know.
Be able to interface with an outdoor activity called phase diving, which allows
this looks
us
really
to
cool.
enter
I like
untethered
this.
space, which is an entirely different way to look at Caresh.
It almost reminds me of getting charged up in Natlan. Like, do you know Natlan characters can like attune with the Night Kingdom or whatever?
It's an overlay that introduces
like
new creatures, new objectives, new...
Wait, is that... No. Is that... Those little guys were in Korthia. Those little guys were in Korthia. This is not going to be like Korthia. It's going to be like... It's going to be like, what if Korthia was good?
Quests, you know, new mechanics. And the cool thing about the Rushi wraps,
like
it sort of interfaces with so much content across Ghosts of Caresh. You can use it in the open world, you can use it in the dungeon, you can use it in the raid, and in delves as well.
That's neat.
Seeing the world in the eyes of Ethereal sounds really, really cool. You mentioned delves. What is the new delve coming to Ghosts of Caresh?
So we have a new
I think that there's some potential for them to do some really crazy, like, secret finding stuff. If they are giving you an ability to see into the other realm, like that stuff is going to be, it's going to make it so much harder for the secret finding people to find stuff, because now they're going to have to check both realms, like whenever you're phase shifted and when you're not. Like they just gave double the amount of work to all these people.
coming in Ghosts of Caresh, and this is called the Archival Assault. It takes place in the Azure Vaults and Dragon Isles. You might be familiar with that place, but this time it's chock full of Ethereals, Ethereal pirates, some brokers, and they're plundering the place, and we're going to put a stop to that.
The Azure Vaults. Now that's interesting. So there's people trying to get something out of the Azure Vault. Something worth a lot. I wonder what they want from there. Very curious.
With our buddy Bran. You'll be able to take advantage of your Rushi wrap to unlock unique challenge gateways. They might have boss rushes or unique challenge rooms and need the cloak to access them. Additionally, we're doing a little bit of a social...
Wow, that sounds awesome. That sounds like a real meaningful addition to Delphs and expanding what you can do in there. If you can access different challenge mode rooms and wings and bosses, that's fantastic.
Feature in here where you'll be able to see your friend's presence. They might be able to leave you messages. You see their ghosts running around where they died, maybe.
What?
Yep.
So I can make fun of my friend dying in a certain place.
And speaking of dying, let's talk.
Are you serious? Are you taking it from Elden Ring? You for real? What kind of messages can we leave? Can I try finger butthole?
About our nemesis for this season.
Okay.
You might be familiar with her. Her name is Nexus Princess Tyveza. You have unfinished business with her in Erebor. She's got a whole new bag of tricks for you. She's not.
Oh crap. You know what that means? It means I need to do the previous nemesis before season 3. I'm gonna do it exactly like I did last time. Do y'all remember that? You remember me going so hard on the nemesis boss at the end of season 1? I spent like, I think there was like maybe 4 or 5 days where that's all I cared about. And I went so ridiculously hard. I spent hours and hours a day clearing it on like every class. It was so weird. I'm probably going to do the exact same thing because it helps me decide what spec to play too. I remember having a really, really easy time with Mage. That was so easy. Paladin was pretty easy too, because Paladin has a tool for every problem. And Shaman was more of a struggle. I remember Mage, it really surprised me how easy it was on Mage. Hunter wasn't bad.
Not going to hold back this time, and it's a 1v1 scenario, so buckle up.
That's so exciting. I loved her fight in
Yeah,
Erebor
cool.
Palace, and so I was always wondering where she vanished off to.
You loved her
don't
fight.
Actually defeat her.
Did y'all love her fight? I'll tell you something. I hated explaining her fight. I was so bad at it. I don't know if I loved it. It was okay. Like, I would be like, all right, guys, so here's what's gonna go down. She's gonna spawn a bunch of extra versions of her, and you need to make sure that where you're at when she goes to you is a good spot and away from everyone, but also not too far away. Oh, and whenever she charges, it's gonna be another clone. So just can we all go clockwise? And no one knows what the hell I'm talking about at all, because I'm not explaining it well. I would just be like, can someone else please explain this fight?
Let's head back to the outdoor world. What can we do on Caresh?
Yeah, there's 2 major systems. The first one is called ecological succession. When we met the Ethereals for the first time in Netherstorm, the 2 things that I noticed were their energy forms, and they're really cool.
That's true. I did actually quit on Boomkin on the last Nemesis boss. I did not have fun on Boomkin at all. So they're bringing back these things from Netherstorm. I remember. That's pretty cool. Okay, I missed a little bit, so let me back up.
What can we do on Caresh?
Yeah, there's 2 major systems. The first one is called ecological succession. When we met the Ethereals for the first time in Netherstorm, the 2 things that I noticed were their energy forms.
I love
and
those
they're
things.
really cool ecodomes, right?
Yeah, the
These
ecodomes are
systems
awesome.
that allowed them to create biomes inside
This zone looks fantastic. I gotta say, it's just beautiful.
that didn't match what was outside. And here, basically, you'll be helping run one. Venaria is trying to bring life back to those shredded parts of Caresh. And with that, she needs your help to fill it with animals and creatures that really thrive.
Oh my god, that sounds so wonderful. What? Are you telling me we're gonna have like Careshi restoration and we can help all the little animals and help all the little plants grow? That's so good. Oh, I love that. I hope it's gonna be like super chill.
In the Caresh ecosystem.
Yeah, and
What this means
did you see that cute little fox that looked like he had a raccoon face? It was so cute.
is that she'll ask you to go back to previous zones, get animals, and experiment and see if they can survive in the Caresh ecosystem, and then release them to create a thriving ecology. Think of it as
Yay.
like a void Jurassic Park, where you're just sort of like trying to make sure that this beautiful place can thrive.
Oh, look at the little babies. Oh my goodness, little fox babies. This is cute.
The other feature I want to talk about is phase diving.
Great.
I already mentioned it a little bit when I was talking about the Reshi wraps, but it's basically an overlay across all of Caresh where you get to switch to energy form and enter untethered space to access a whole slew of new content. You can expect to see anything that you normally see in the outdoors, you know, treasures, rares, lore objects, all that.
Right.
But there's also things that are unique specifically to phase diving. One of the features that I
Okay.
can talk about here is called warrants, where you're going to be helping the constable of Tazavesh hunt down notorious monsters.
I am looking forward to also building.
What are you talking about? Hunts? Doesn't it sound like that? Like a hunt board. Warrants? Sounds something like that. Like, okay, you get a mission to go kill a notorious monster, and you come back, and you turn in, and you get a reward. Sounds like hunts. Man, there's so much FFDNA in WoW now. It's crazy. What? That's cool. That's fantastic. Maybe a little Monster Hunter too. Yeah, yeah.
Building my own ecosystem. That sounds so cool. Anything with animals, you got me sold.
Aminal.
Earlier we spoke about the new raid. What else is coming to season 3?
Oh, there's a lot to talk about here. So first off, we have
Raid.
a new dungeon coming with Ghosts of Caresh. It's called Ecodome Eldani. It's very important to the Ethereals. It's a 3-boss dungeon. We're going to be fighting through Devourers, invading one of these places, eating some of the wildlife Steph talked about earlier. That's bad. We're also going to be fighting off a force of Wastelanders that have taken over this place. We're going to fight our way through and figure out why they want this place.
Did they ever say where Devourers come from? Like, they're from... I thought they're just like space parasites, right? They're from space and they get hungry around magic and they're starving for magic. StarCraft. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, they're from StarCraft.
One more note with this dungeon is it'll be immediately available on normal, heroic,
Yes.
and baseline mythic with the update on Ghosts of Caresh.
Wait,
I think
what?
the really cool thing about
Baseline mythic with the update on Ghosts of
What?
this place. One more note with this dungeon is it'll be immediately available on normal, heroic, and baseline mythic with the
Okay.
update on Ghosts of Caresh.
Okay.
I think the really cool thing about Ecodome Eldani too is that the canonical route that the storyline takes place is the campaign, the raid, and then Ecodome Eldani. And that's not a thing that we do often, you know? So I'm really looking forward to seeing how people react to this cadence.
So what are the dungeons in the dungeon pool?
Oh yeah, let's dive into that as well.
So you do the campaign story, then you do the raid story, and then you do the dungeon story. Because they said something really important is Ecodome Eldani. So if Ecodome Eldani is about restoring life, and the raid is about making sure Dimensius doesn't get resurrected, it makes sense that stopping Dimensius would take priority chronologically over securing the restoration of Caresh through the Ecodome. So that makes a lot of sense.
Let's talk about the returning ones first. So we're going to head back to
Revendreth,
and visit
yes.
our friends, the Venthyr and the Halls of Atonement. The next two, like Steph mentioned, Tazavesh is
Sire
coming back. So we said
Denathrius
Tazavesh should come
lands.
back.
Of course.
That was a mega dungeon when it was first introduced, so we're going to break it in 2 pieces, of course. We're
Mega
going to
dungeon.
have Tazavesh.
I don't think I've ever done that dungeon before. I'm pretty sure I never did. So that's going to be pretty cool. This is brand new content for me and for a lot of buns who skipped, didn't play really during Shadowlands. Yeah.
Streets of Wonder, where we're actually fighting through the markets and bazaars and streets of Tazavesh, chasing down Solia.
Why are there core
And
hounds
then
out
we'll
there?
have the second half, which is Solia's Gambit, where we're chasing through portals and eventually having our final showdown.
Okay.
Tazavesh will also be returning as a mega dungeon experience in Ghosts of Caresh. Starting with Season 3, you'll be able to play it in hard mode as the baseline mythic difficulty. It'll have increased challenges, hard mode mechanics, and really awesome rewards. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, we also had a community vote
Okay.
for the last 4. What were the winners?
I don't really understand. How's the mega dungeon work? How does that work? Like, you have to do it all at once? Isn't it gigantic? Can you do that on Mythic Plus? Or not? Or just baseline Mythic? Is it different rewards for mega dungeon? Okay. It's just huge. It's like a raid for a 5-man. Yeah, I did, I remember doing Dawn of the Infinite with Preach and Novel, but I did not understand completely. Okay, you said, imagine 2 dungeons spliced together and you run them back to back. Mythic Plus splits it into 2. Oh, okay. I completely understand. So there's a reason that you want to do it on a Mega Dungeon version, right? Because is it going to have like different transmog and mounts and stuff? Base Mythic has a hard mode for higher level gear. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, it was really cool to see what players' favorite dungeons were in the War Within, and the 4 that players chose were Operation Floodgate from Season 2, going back to punch some goblins, Priory of the Sacred Flame.
That was
just
hard.
Awesome Hollow Fall
Floodgate
vibes
is
throughout.
scary and
then
hard.
We're going to round that out with 2 dungeons from Season 1 of
Oh,
the
no.
War Within, Arakara, City of Echoes, and
Arakara. I gotta get that sack brood again. It's sack brood season, y'all.
the Dawnbreaker. Just quick note for the Season 1 dungeons, we are going to take a pass, on the visuals, the combat pacing, the cast times, the number of abilities even, to make sure they're aligned with Season 2 dungeons.
Are there any other important notes for players to know about for Season 3?
Actually, not directly Season 3 related, but on the day of the update for Ghost of Caresh, you're going to have access to non-bountiful delves and all Season 3 dungeons for heroic and baseline mythic difficulties. That means there will be Season 3 tuning in there, but also Season 3 rewards. You can get yourself a head start. Of course, Mythic Plus and the raid will open the following week, but you should have plenty to sink your teeth into on day 1. And oh yeah, one more thing. We've heard feedback for a long time now about how dungeon checkpointing works, especially in like Mythic Keystones where your timer's ticking down and whatnot. We're going to revisit our philosophy there on how long a run back is and when they unlock, and we actually want to visualize some of this in game through what we're calling waystones. So as you unlock checkpoints, you'll have an icon on your map, and you'll also have these stones that warp in and show you, if I release, this is where I'm coming back. I don't want people asking that question anymore.
That is so exciting because I can't remember for the life of me every checkpoint in a dungeon, so thank you guys.
That really should have been there a long time ago. Like, great job and all, but what the hell? I cannot believe that you actually made players guess about this for so long. This is crazy. Good for you, but I mean, it's like we finally fixed something that was really messed up. Great.
And what about class sets?
Yeah, there's new set bonuses to talk about as well. In Manaforge Omega, we're trying something different with the set bonuses. Up until now,
Ooh, set. Yeah, we can look at the tier sets today.
they've been focused on your spec or your class.
Right.
With this update, we're actually going
Oh.
to target your hero talents. So in my case, I play an Arms Warrior, I play Colossus. I'll have bonuses targeting Demolish, but I'll still have spec hooks if I'm like a Prot Warrior versus an Arms Warrior to make sure that they're still competitive. We got you on the spec level, but we're targeting hero talents.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and players can look forward to a lot of class updates
That's
as well.
cool.
You know,
I like that. I like the hero talent stuff. I hope they keep going that direction. Give me more
a lot
hero
of
talent things.
updates for specs such as Brewmaster Monks and Unholy Death Knights. Now, along with Season 3's PvE content, there's also a new PvP season. There are several PvP talents that are being updated as well. And for those of us who like outdoor world PvP, there is an entire island called Vanquisher's Wake.
I'll be avoiding that.
And I'll be there.
Yeah.
Of course you would.
Maybe I'll do some PvP, right? I feel like if I'm going to be playing Rogue, I have to do PvP. I think it's required. Like, how do you play Rogue and not do PvP, right? That's part of it.
What are you both most excited for in this update?
For me, I'd have to say it's Dimensius. That's going to be a cosmic level encounter. There's planets blowing up. It's awesome. Huge laser beams, you name it. Additionally, I think we have a really awesome dungeon pool this season. I'm excited for players to check out Tazavesh hard mode.
I am also really excited about Dimensius, you know, like such a glow up from the blueberry that he was before.
Baby blueberry.
But the thing that I'm most excited about, we're in the War Within, and the War Within is part of the World Soul Saga,
Right,
a trilogy of expansions that, you know, like interweave their story all throughout. And so the campaign and the story within Ghost
Oh
of
my
Caresh
goodness, look at that little guy. He's so cute. Did you see this little, like, is that a cat?
all throughout.
Careshi
And
cat.
so the
Look at the little baby kitty.
campaign and the story within
So
Ghost of
cute.
Caresh will matter so much more to the next expansion than it has ever done before. I'm really looking forward to seeing how players go through the campaign and absorb the story.
I'm excited for everything you guys have mentioned.
Makes a lot of sense.
That's Ghosts of
Makes a lot of
Caresh.
sense.
The
What happens here will matter more than ever before. For the first time, we're gonna have this raid that's leading into midnight that is gonna have real consequences that carry over in significant ways to the next expansion story. I think that's fantastic. And I think it's necessary as well. To, you know, this is the way you build hype for the next expansion. Story's part of it. And I really feel like every step of the way, they've reaffirmed their commitment that they made. They're gonna take story more seriously going forward. And so far, I've been happy with everything I've seen.
Void Touched major update coming to the War Within. Thank you, Steph and Drew, for hanging out with me and putting all your hard work into this update. And thank you all for watching. We'll see you in Caresh.
Well, I'm pretty happy with what I've seen here. The raid looks awesome. Because a big guy, boss, fighting big guy. I like that. Huge fight. It's like, it'll be like fighting Stormwind. The whole place. Can you even imagine that? We're gonna feel so tiny. That's cool. Other thing that is the phase diving I think could be really interesting. The new wings and stuff you can do in delves. Good. This thing right here with helping all the little babies and critters. I like that. It's also good. Warrants, hunt board or whatever. Good. What do you have to complain about? The only thing to complain about is potential Korthia PTSD because of the some of the monsters look like they had been in Korthia before. But don't worry about that. Just don't worry about that. It makes sense that they're there because Devourers, right? So like lore-wise, it's gonna make sense. It's not gonna be like that. It looks great. Overall, I'm pretty happy. And the phasing, that's just Dranny, just we don't need to worry about things like that yet when we don't know, right? It's gonna be, oh, also Demon Hunter. What if, okay, no. Okay, I think this is crazy speculation and I think it's not true because after watching this video, if they really intended to add a void specialization, they would have mentioned it. They would have hinted at it, right? Like, this, just because a guy has on void transmog, we gonna say that there's a void spec coming? I don't know. I want to believe so much. I want to believe. Illidan's already prepared for this. Where is this from? Where's this picture from? Right? I don't know. It's copium. It's copium. It's crazy. But everybody's running away with this story. I just don't. 3 on screen looks better than 2. Yes. And who do they need to put in the middle? Somebody themed for the... Yeah. I don't... Maybe a... Oh, you think maybe a third... Like another hero spec? That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Because they would be setting themselves up with the world of problems. Like I said, they need to make Void Elves Demon Hunters. Because Void Elves are Void Hunters. There's just... I want to believe it. I think it's crazy. It's actually a little crazy.